Peasant Productions presents the Math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. We're currently showing a miracle in action as I do the Occupy ISS _ International Space Station. I've created the International Space Station in 1983 with a letter I wrote specifically to President Reagan to be stolen from me by the government at all. I'm not one of those people that believes that there's any difference between a Democrat and a Republican other than the words they use. They both behave the same way, they both play the same backdoor games, and they definitely play the entire United States population against itself rather than doing anything of any value. Now, I just did the sarcasm report, and I was talking about stuff, and I didn't have my notes in front of me, so I didn't get to put this on, but this is part 53. For those of you who have ever read the Final Secrets of the Illuminati by Anton Wilson, he goes into a little bit of a spiel, you know, his thing on the numbers that the Illuminati use on stuff, and it brackets around the idea of the number 23. Now, I'm going to do a separate series on that just for the fun of it, but this being 53, that is one of the numbers that he personally includes in his list of 23. I happened to read that book. Somebody walked up, handed it to me to read, a friend, and I was actually reading that 23 piece and trying to figure all of that stuff out, how it worked and all. And, you know, thinking, you know, what a laugh. I mean, you know, how hard is it to find this number in your life? And more importantly, how often would it come around? I was 23 years old. Yeah. More importantly, I had two pieces of property that I was ownership of, or in partnership ownership. The couple of apartment buildings next to each other, 2323 and 2321. Yeah. 18 via do the numerology thing, 18, which reduces down to 9. My life path is a 9. That was, yeah, that was it. You can see I have a lot of fun with numerology and stuff, because whether or not I want to believe in it, there are all these bits and pieces that come together. So this being the 53rd part of Occupy ISS, I'm going to have some fun here. I was talking about how people sit back and they go and they run in and they ask the preacher to pray for them, or they ask other people to pray for them. Okay, now, like I said, using social media to ask for prayers is actually more powerful than walking in and asking your preacher for prayers, because the preacher will tell who he feels like telling. You've kicked it out on social media. It has the availability of going wherever, by whomever, and literally, you know, like in the case of a Facebook post, you just keep reposting it, or a Pinterest post. You just, you know, other people collect pins. I mean, I get emails of people going through my stuff, my Pinterest collections, and pulling stuff out. So, you know, stuff happens and goes around. So if you actually kick it out on social media, you are doing more work to facilitate the energy. Where's that one? That's under this, right? Yes, okay. You're actually putting more of the energy to facilitate a miracle to happen, so you get your prayer, than if you just walk in and hand the preacher, whether it's a peso, or it's a million US dollars, you know, or $1 million of gold. You're paying somebody else to be your advertising agent. Okay, yeah. So you're not the actual physical stuff doing that. You know, you have to put the miracle. You have to have the miracle first. You have to have the energy behind it of some level. You have to have motion, and you have to have faith that it happens. So. That's what I'm saying. If you are a person who prays or ask the preacher to pray for you, you're not really accomplishing much. And if you're one of those people that runs around saying, "My God's going to save me, I don't have to worry," the parody of the guy on the rooftop a couple of videos ago, you know, you're waiting for Superman to come, you're waiting for Spider-Man to come, you're waiting for Jesus to come. You don't think about how deep this is ingrained into you, but it is actually very deeply ingrained into most all Western philosophy society. Why? Because you have, you know, the cavalry and Indians type movies, you have war movies, you have the bad guys and attacking, and some good guy comes to town, the Rambo, well, what was it? The kickboxer guy. Anyway, you have all these different, you know, good guys coming in, the Charles Bronsons and the Easy Riders, and you know, all through everything, the Pancho Villas, you know, all of this kind of stuff in the movies. So you are taught to wait. It is also in your storybooks. Waiting for your princess, waiting for your prince, waiting for your first big battle, whatever it is. You're always waiting for something else to come along to take you in and do stuff for you and to help you and to give you this stuff. Now, the reality of where you're at right now, with your world being as messed up as it is, with you having something that you have no control over, you have no way of clean rooming in an entire planet. You have no way of going out there and erasing all of the bacteria, all of the viruses. I mean, you've got bacteria in your gut that is there that you need to digest food with. And you're dealing with a situation where you're putting so many toxic chemicals in, you do not know what those, and especially when you add this little radiation number here in, and there's people that talk about the grand solar, where there's a weakening of the shield around the planet. And there's all this massive amount of solar energy and cosmic energy now hitting the planet right at this point in time that's helping fuel all this stuff. Okay? You have all of this stuff going on. You've got this good bacteria in your gut. How do you know it's not going to mutate into something that's bad or mutate into something that can become lethal? Okay, you don't. Okay, so you have this huge problem here that you cannot do anything whatsoever about. Like I said, just easy numbers. I'm saying 1 million bacteria and 1 million viruses just to give you that 1,000,001 shot odds of a lottery system. Okay, so you're literally got an absolute problem. And you are so busy telling everybody that you're going to wait for the guy down the street to fix the problem first. Or you're going to form a committee, to discuss forming a committee to do something about planning for somewhere in the future, doing something. Okay? You are so far down it, you are literally, as I put in my notes here, you are like the religions do. Pray for forgiveness until you are a dead martyr. Okay, well in this case you're not going to be a martyr, you're just going to be dead. Do nothing until told to do so is like watching your boat sink. I mean, wouldn't it be a lot smarter to put your hand over a hole to try and keep the water out than to just sit there and watch the water bubbling in and your boat going down and some guy on another boat that you don't know whether or not he has any leaks in his boat or not, is telling you not to do anything that you know, the government's going to come save you. Don't do anything. And then you look around at what's happening in the world right now. You got Hawaii, which is a disaster area. It's just had a hurricane pass over. It's got a volcano going on. It's got earthquakes happening around it. You know, you got earthquakes all around in the area, and everything is going on an uptick. A couple of years ago, I was talking about the fact that when the earthquake depths started hitting about the 700-kilometer level, you were going to see a major increase around the world of problems. Those earthquakes are now repeatedly hitting in the 600-kilometer range. Fiji has just been going through the charts. Now, several times a day you get a 500 kilometer plus quake. I've seen, I think, 673, 678, almost 700 kilometers deep in the past couple of days. This stuff is going on. You got some, just everywhere. You got more volcanoes opening up. You got more stuff going on. So you don't have any time to wait even to think about this because you got so much going on. Puerto Rico. Oh yeah, sorry, there are like 3,000 people died, not 47 like we said. A year down the line they're getting power restored. Another massive hailstorm wiping out just like a whole state's crops. Massive problems all across Europe with crop loss. You've got crop loss happening all over the planet. You've got all kinds of problems all over the planet due to all of this stuff going on. You now have various viral and bacteria things happening where algae blooms and fish keeling over dying are happening in weird places and weird situations, and in some cases you can actually see these red tides and stuff in front of you, and there's nothing you can do because you're talking about hundreds upon hundreds of miles of beach, and who knows how far out. 20 miles out, that's 2,000 square miles of ocean that you're supposed to somehow going to clean up and purify. So you guys need to stop bickering like a couple little school kids who's trying to argue whether vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream is better. Realize everybody has their own rights and their own values and their own understandings, and start doing something. Like I said, my shuttle design that I'm offering out to you folks, they're lifeboats, folks. They're to get you off this planet. I'm hoping somebody makes one close enough around to me, or I'm involved in helping make one close enough to me to get the butt off this planet too. Because I don't care if I die up there in space, manufacturing water and food and materials and stuff to drop back down here to help try and keep people alive down here while we get more people off and we figure out how to clean the mess up. But you don't have anybody coming, and I've got Revelations 2:17. We're not talking about somebody that doesn't have any belief in God here. Quite the opposite. I know there are 3,260 different spiritual entities that watch over this planet by itself, in the immediate realm of this planet and all of that, okay? They're part of the solar system and this planet and its environment and every layer of anything you can think of. Those 3,260 entities are the myriad of names that make up your thousands upon thousands upon thousands of religions around the planet. Sure, no problem. But I know they're there, and they're asking me to try and help you. So, at least I'm sitting here saying, okay, nobody's got who is that? Herbert. Now I'm messing up his name here. The guy that wrote Dune, okay, the Dune series. He also wrote something about the missing Messiah or something like that, where the guy goes back in time and finds there's no Jesus, so he steps up trying to be it. I'm not being Jesus, okay? I'm being somebody smart enough to know this stuff here. But in some ways, I'm about the only person that's sitting down and looking at your whole planet as a whole planet and everything that's involved, and telling you, you better stop and pay attention and look. So I'm pretty close to being your Superman or your Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, he was just a normal human being. Superman was from someplace else, okay? I'm just a human flesh and blood here, and I'm telling you how to save yourself. And I'm telling you why. And I'm doing it in 15 minutes.